Hey guys, I'm Davey Wavey, creator of the gay erotic website Himeros.tv, and today I'm joined by my best friend Matthew Thomas. And today we are talking about a sex game called Hat Trick. So let's get started. And also crying into the microphone for the next 45 minutes, quite frankly. Hey, Himeros Live is sponsored by Himeros.tv. It is your last chance to save 60% off your membership at Himeros.tv, my erotic website full of juicy, explicit videos designed to give you the best gay sex of your life. Who doesn't want that? With hundreds of cock-throbbing videos for you to enjoy, just visit Himeros.tv/pride to save up to 60% off your membership. And this is only for a few more hours. So check it out. It's Himeros.tv/pride. Himeros.tv. It's like porn, but better.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Matt.
How are you? Maybe we should just skip that question.
How are you? How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm running on a little sleep. The fire alarm went off in the hotel at like 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'm a little out of it, but it's okay.
So yeah, because I got that text. For you, it was 3 a.m. I'm in Stockholm, so it was 9 a.m. here. I was at the gym. I was like, girl, put your contacts in. I was like, put your eyes in, put your contacts in. Was there a fire?
I remembered everything but my eyes. No, so first, this is
What
terrible.
do you mean you didn't remember your eyes? So you were like walking through the hallway, can't seeing?
I don't know why. I checked in super early yesterday, and they said, we have 2 rooms available, 3rd floor, 1st floor. And I was like, just give me the 1st floor. I don't want to wait on an elevator that's going to be super slow. So I'm in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. What? Stop. So I'm in the corner on the 1st floor, and it goes off at 3 a.m. and I hear it, and I like open my eyes. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And then of course I lay there for a little bit. I'm like, it's not real. It's going to go off, which we know is like the worst thing that you can do.
Well, so I'm also thinking you're on the 1st floor. So it's like if there was a fire, you could go out through the window.
In the window, I mean, I'm right next to the exit door at the corner of the building. So I'm like, I'm fine. So I'm laying there and I'm like, it is not like turning off. So I'm like, fuck it. So I get up, I throw something on, of all things, my work computer, I should let that shit burn. But I grabbed that, I grabbed my phone, and
in your Himeros Live microphone.
Oh, let me tell you, I had it all. I was ready because in case I had to do it in the car, I was ready. And I grabbed my wallet, everything else. And then of course I walk out to the car. And as I'm walking, I'm like, I can't see shit. Fuck, I forgot to put my contacts in. So I just sat there in the car and waited. And
for
sure
me,
enough,
though,
the fire.
That's not an option for me. My eyesight is so bad. My prescription is negative 7.5 on the contacts. Like, you have a privilege of being able to forget your contacts. If I don't have my contacts, I'm not getting out.
Oh my God. Well, let me not be with you the day that you forget your contacts and I get attacked. You won't be able to describe the person who attacked me. I'm screwed.
What's your number?
I have no idea. I wear 1.75 in my left eye and 1.50 in my right eye.
Yeah, that's privilege.
Well, I don't need to get any worse. But yeah, would you believe the fire department took over 30 minutes to come? I was like, the building's gone. Why are you here now? What's the point?
Yeah. And like you would think that might be a priority, like a building with probably like 300 sleeping people in it. They'd be like, oh, this could be dangerous.
And
let it burn.
Yeah, right. But here's what's worse is if there really was a fire, nobody knew what was going on. We could just look and see if there was any smoke. No one saw any, but people are walking past the front of the building, walking around the building, walking up to the window. I'm like, isn't there anyone to stop you all? You're not supposed to be in front of the building.
You're going into RA mode. We were both RAs in college, and at a school that had a fire where kids died, right? Didn't they die?
Yeah, Bowling Hall.
Well, there you go.
You're not supposed to name it. Whoopsie.
But they had it like drilled into us like about fire safety. And anyway, we should be talking about sex, which is what I was having at 3:00 in the morning, actually.
Oh, you answered my text message while you were getting it on?
No, because it was 9 a.m. here, so I was at the
Oh.
gym, but
Oh,
3
but
a.m.
at
my
3
time.
a.m.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
I'm in Stockholm because we're filming a project here in a couple days, and originally I came out here early because I wanted Chad had never been to Sweden, and I thought like it would be fun for him to see Sweden. Spoiler alert: Chad's not here. We're no longer boyfriends, and it ended up being though kind of nice because I mean I wasn't in really a good place, and I'm still not in a great place, but it's nice to kind of have a couple days to like relax and explore a city
Process.
with a
Mm-hmm.
process and distract myself with some, turns out there's some cute boys here in Sweden. So I don't hate that, but yeah, I don't know. It's been rough. It's been a rough couple of days. It's also, I was just talking about it with Dan, the director, who's out here early as well, and I was talking about how like I guess for those of you who follow me on Instagram or Facebook, probably have seen like a couple posts that I've kind of been going through it a little bit, and there's like a lot of things going on, and like I have a friend who's sick, and my dad had two really big health issues kind of like back to back, and those were really scary. And there's some other family stuff that's going on that's it's all kind of just had like a cumulative effect on me. And then this breakup, and anyway, but in the big scheme of things, like it's not like I'm struggling to feed my family, or like it's like these challenges are like big and real for me, but like people face all sorts of challenges that are infinitely, more difficult than what I'm going through. So I'm trying to like keep that in perspective too. But
yeah, but you're also entitled to have your moment. Like, you can't. I think. Well, but I say that not about everything that's going on, because you know your outlook on your breakup is one thing, but the other people that are impacted with some of the ways that you're feeling, that's absolutely out of your control. That's not just, okay, let me just get myself together and move forward. Like, but you need to mourn your breakup. Like, you cared about it, you care about him. And the fact that you're not together, that feeling doesn't go away. So you're entitled to feel how you feel right now. If we're having this conversation a year from now, I'm gonna be like, Dave, get your shit together. But right now, you're fine.
When I had my moment, it's funny, like the things that kind of put you over the edge, and it's not like necessarily what you expected to. So all those things are happening, and what put me over the edge, Chad and I have been kind of like not connecting well for like, a week or so, and that was kind of in the back of my head. But we have an open relationship, and even though Chad was being distant, like I still have the opportunity to like hook up with guys. And yeah, I'm almost like hesitant to share this, but I think like I can turn to sex in the same way that some people turn to alcohol. That it's like it's a way for me to feel pleasure when I'm experiencing pain. And since I wasn't getting that pleasure or that connection from Chad, like I set up a hookup last Friday that I was like really excited about, and he canceled on me literally like while I was douching, right? There's like douche water like coming out my ass, and he canceled. And I was like, okay, like this sucks. But I scheduled another hookup with someone else on Sunday, and then that guy also canceled on me last minute. And so and this is so stupid, but like on top of everything else, like being really broken, like I just felt like so unfuckable. And it sounds really stupid, but that was the thing that put me over the edge, where I was just like, okay, I'm not okay. Like this is like I'm not even I don't even have my like my drug to like go to make me feel good. So I don't know. So
I don't think that's stupid at all. I that's not the way that I happen to treat sex, but you explaining it that way, I can totally put myself in your shoes and get it. I don't think that's stupid at all.
So finally, like Chad and I on Monday, we were like, let's have a talk about this. And so he came over and he's not a mind reader, so he didn't know what I was struggling with and everything that's going on, and I hadn't really been honest with him about the impact it's had on me. So I always try to be that like stable, low maintenance boyfriend. And it was hard for me to take a minute and be like, look, I'm struggling right now and I need your help. And I was able to tell him that, but like Chad's 21 years old. And I think for him, this is definitely his first real relationship. And he was very honest with me and about how our connection doesn't feel as strong now as it did when we first started dating, and like the intensity and the fire isn't there for him anymore. And my perspective on that is that happens with any relationship. That's like called the honeymoon period. Like people talk about that all the time. You start dating someone, it's intense, it's passionate. And that's also kind of like a drug, right? When you first start to get to know someone. So you have this like high, and over time it fades. And that's when the relationship gets real. And you have to decide, like, is the connection that we have strong enough or special enough that we want to keep investing in this, even though like the butterflies aren't there anymore. And for him, it seems like there wasn't enough of a connection for him to want to keep going. My perspective was that at 35, I know that connections like what Chad and I have don't happen very often. Chad doesn't know that. He's so young. And, like even the honesty that we had with one another, like how we could talk about everything, and that felt very special to me. And for me, it was worth putting in the energy and the effort to make our relationship work. But I can't force him to make it work. So
I mean, I don't want to dive too much into my stuff too, but what you're saying is the exact same fear that I have. Like in my case, he's 24 years old. This is his first real relationship. And I see why I'm here. I see why this makes sense for me. But on the flip side, he hasn't had the experiences that I've had. And, I think that sometime that my fear is that I'm going to be a lesson for him. Right. And I don't want to be a lesson. Like, I want to be in this. I want it to work. And I think also to your point of, feeling like you need that support, I think a lot of times I shy away from expressing that because I wonder if it's going to be more than he can handle, and that's going to push him away. That's going to make him walk away. Again, because he's never had these experiences before. So he doesn't know. So here I am taking all these things into consideration for someone because I love them.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I mean, that's why I didn't want to tell Chad that I was like really struggling, because I didn't want to be like seen as this burdensome boyfriend, like and like it did scare him away. I think by that point he had made up his mind. But when you say that you don't want to be a lesson, like what do you think that the lesson is that he would get from dating you?
I think the lesson, I think that sometimes like I know a little bit about the people that he has entertained in the past. And I think that, for him being where he's at, he wants to have fun. He's 24 years old. Like, he's still trying to find himself and what's important to him. And I'm 100% supportive of that, even if that means that we ended up being long distance for a while. For him to do what he needs, I just feel like if it ended, he's going to go on through life and I don't want this for him, but he'll have a string of relationships where he'll be like, damn, actually, it really was good. I really did have it well. And
I feel the same way.
What did I
feel
do?
Like Chad's going to have that moment. He's gonna be like, oh shit, that was really special. I'm not going to get this with just anyone. Like, and the intensity, like cooling down, is something that happens in literally every relationship.
Yeah. And who am I to say, oh, well, I'm like God's gift. I'm the greatest thing that he's going to experience. But at the same time, like, again, like you and I have gotten to know enough people where people don't always have the best motives. People don't know how to communicate. People aren't honest. They don't lead with their heart and really open up about how they feel. And I just feel like it's going to be, I don't want this for him, but I feel like it's going to be an uphill battle to find what we have again, if it came to that.
I think what you said that resonates with me is like, he's what, 23 years old, like wants to have fun. Chad, what I love about Chad is his ability to do that, to just like have fun and like live in the present moment. He's 21. Like he lives a lot of his life for instant gratification. He's not focused on like what's coming down the road. What annoys me about Chad is his ability to live in the present moment and not think about things long term. Like, I love that he does that. I also hate that he does that. And like, if it's not
especially
fun,
when
go ahead.
Say, especially when your mindset is the both of you.
Right.
His mindset is more so him, not in like a negative way, not trying to like
but in
hurt,
a 21-year-old way.
Me, but exactly. And that's it's hard. It's really, really hard.
If he's not having fun, he doesn't want to do it. So like, if you could say like you could have $20 today or $40 next week, he's for sure going to take $20 today, and he's going to buy a t-shirt that he likes.
Yeah.
and I think the idea of a relationship, like building a relationship with someone, like isn't necessarily always fun. Like there's work involved for some future benefit. And it's just not in alignment with how he lives his life right now. Like, it's not fun to work through those problems. It's not fun to maybe like explore a therapist or have to invest in this like future potential, when it means that like there's something then that he's not doing that would be a lot of fun, like going out drinking with his friends or something. And I think in contrast, I'm always thinking long term, and I think this is probably frustrating for people that I date. Like, I think I'm guilty of the opposite, which is living too much in the future and maybe even denying myself like fun. Like, there's a lot of times where I don't do something because I'm thinking, oh, I have to get up early tomorrow, or like the money that I'm saving up and not spending now so that I can have a comfortable retirement. Like, I will always map out long-term plans for myself, think of them in terms of steps, and then like take the steps required to make those plans happen. Like, it's just I live very pragmatically. And but I mean, like, having said all of that, this relationship that I had with Chad and the openness and honesty that we had was probably the closest thing that I've ever had to like what it is that I really want for myself. And I feel like I learned a lot in dating Chad, and I really enjoyed loving Chad, and I don't regret it. And I feel like because I shared a lot of our relationship like publicly, whether it's through Instagram or like this podcast, on Facebook, whatever, like it feels important just to let you guys know like why it came to an end. And on Instagram, I did a post about like how our relationship to me felt a lot like a firework display that like ignites all at once, that it like burned really brightly and beautifully for a very short amount of time. Like the displays that like accidentally get ignited on a barge. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you ever seen like a YouTube video of that?
No.
It's a thing. Like, all the fireworks go off like all at once, and you're like, oh wow, that's like really cool and like really intense. But then after like 30 seconds, it's all over. Like, that's what it felt like. And there were so many people who were like, whatever, I don't even need to like give them the time of day, but like really critical of like me throwing in the towel or being too picky. And like, I was like,
you didn't tell everybody the details.
No, and that's not what it was. Like, this relationship didn't end because I wanted it to. Like, but when Chad and I started dating, I remember saying to him that for me, like, the goal in the relationship is never to date someone for as long as possible. It's just to really enjoy the time that we have together. And I think when, Chad said that our relationship had run its course for him, he brought up that he mentioned that to me, and like, I get it that I feel like his interpretation of our relationship running its course is really me thinking that it's just like, no, this is what happens when the honeymoon period burns out. And something that we could overcome with some effort and energy. I also respect his decision to walk away from something that he felt wasn't really working for him. And it would have also really been easy for him to say, to like save all this until after Sweden, like if he wanted a free trip to Sweden. And I'm glad that he like spoke his truth. So anyway, that's the story. And it just felt disingenuous to kind of just sit here and pretend like I'm like totally happy you're okay, because I'm okay. And the breakup was part of it, but I also know that life has its ups and downs, and I'm in a down, and there's going to be ups, and there'll be more downs, and it's not the end of the world. And there are a lot of people out there who are struggling with a lot more than what I have on my plate. So, but anyway, it also just feels inauthentic to pretend like everything's just like hunky dory.
So because we do share our lives to some degree, I know that people are going to be wondering two things right now.
What?
Have you spoken to him since you've broken up? And do you think that you'll reach out anytime soon?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have like it wasn't on bad terms. We like still hugged and kissed goodbye. I think I'm trying to figure out what like life after dating looks like. He did text me to tell me to have a safe flight, and that he also wished I had waited a little bit longer before posting that post on Instagram, because a lot of his friends didn't know that we broke up, and I wasn't thinking about that. But anyway, it was up, so it was too late. But I mean, I would still love to be friends with him. And I mentioned that, and he said, yeah, we can like grab lunch sometime. And I was like, okay, okay, that's pretty like low commitment. And we had plans to go on vacation during my birthday weekend coming up in a couple weeks, Chad and I, and he made it pretty clear that like that wasn't in the cards. And I was like, I guess I could do this on my own. But then my best friend Matthew Thomas was like, no, girl, we're gonna do this together.
We're going.
So we won't tell them where. We'll tell you after the fact. Well, we're gonna have a little excursion.
We sure are.
That's my scoop, girl. How are you doing?
I mean, like I said, I don't want to talk about it too much, but I'm going through the process of what you've just.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's touch and go, but I'm really trying to push forward and make the best of it, and make sure that I'm making the decisions I am for all the right reasons. And we'll see what happens in a couple weeks. But
yeah,
I love him. I genuinely love him. So we'll see.
And every relationship and every person is different, and our outcome was the outcome it was for us. But there's I don't think it is a predetermined,
No.
So
yeah, and if it is, I mean, if that is the outcome, that's the outcome. I just think that we both are trying to exhaust all of our options before it comes to that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's smart.
So
smart.
On to the hat trick. How did we come up with this name?
Oh, girl, wait. I had to, before we get to the hat trick, I do want to mention a few things. So you know this already because we were talking about it, but I do want to say it because it was funny. I had a layover in Madrid yesterday on my way to Stockholm, and I opened up Grindr, and there was this cute ass boy at the airport, and he was like, "Meet me in the handicap stall," and I did. I was like, I need this more than you know.
Oh my God.
I need this more than you know. And I was so gross because I had just like flown in from Boston. I was like on a flight for 6 hours. I was probably like disheveled and like stinky and
he might as well have been into that. It's fine.
I don't know. Yeah, for all I know, he didn't give a fuck. He was really cute. So anyway, so that was a nice little like moment before I flew here. So I don't know why it felt important to share that, but it was so scandalous though. And you asked, you were like, when you got out of the you know how like airports have those family stalls, and it'll say like family stall or like wheelchair access. So it's like its own separate bathroom with a door that locks. Like that's where we were. And then when we walked out, he was like, should we walk out separate? And I was like, no, let's just like walk out together, like laughing as though like nothing happened. Cause I think if we look less suspicious, people will be less suspicious of us. They could be like, oh,
nobody even looked at either one of you when you walked out.
No one cared. No one paid attention. That's because we weren't suspicious. We were just laughing and doing our thing.
I would just think it would be really hilarious if someone who was handicapped was knocking on the door and trying to get in.
Well, there was another one next to us too. There were 2 stalls. So, but yeah, it would have been a little bit more problematic.
Yeah.
Also, there's a new YouTube video up on my channel that's people seem to be enjoying with it's me and Joey Mills talking about our pre-sex routine. A lot of videos on like makeup tutorials or like my early morning routine. We figured we'd do our dirty ass version of it with our pre-sex routine. So lots of great tips there, and Joey's really cute. Okay, so on to hat trick.
I answered
why it's titled hat trick?
Yeah.
Did you Google what a hat trick is?
No, I just totally forgot they were picking the stuff out of the hat, and I was like, oh, that's why he called it hat trick.
Yeah, and you know what a hat trick is though, right? Like it's a play on words because there's a thing called a hat trick, like in sports.
No.
I don't know what it is, but
I'm like Google it. I'm like, what do you tell me more about this, Dave?
Let's see, hat trick. A hat trick is 3 successes of the same kind within a limited period. In particular, in soccer, the scoring of 3 goals in a game by one player, or in cricket, the taking of 3 wickets by the same bowler with successive balls. I'd actually I'm more confused now. I don't understand what that means.
Exactly.
You do the same thing 3 times in a game.
Yeah, essentially the same thing.
Okay. So,
but they don't do the same thing 3 times.
Oh, whatever, girl. They're a bunch of tricks, and they're pulling stuff out of a hat. It's a hat trick.
Why they gotta be tricks? They're people too.
Yeah, tricks are people.
Anyway.
Tricks are people. So this video is titled Hat Trick, and it features Adam Albride, Chris Harder, Wesley Woods, and Wyndham Gold. And it's a sex game that you can play with a boyfriend, a lover, or hookup. I love that I take notes on this. Couples often search for ways to break the monotony of routine sex. Indeed, having sex with the same person in the same specific ways can feel a bit repetitive, and all that repetition can take a toll on our desire for newness and novelty. Fortunately, there are plenty of ways to switch things up, like blowing someone in an airport stall. And sex games, like Hat Trick, are among some of the best ways to find new avenues of sexual expression. So, you guys can... Did I write that? Yeah, I wrote that.
Oh, check you out. Okay, go on.
Not the airport blowing part. I added that in. Yeah, I improv a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So the setup for this game is really simple. You guys can also watch the preview of this on Himeros TV. You see a 30-second preview. But basically on pieces of paper, you write little truths or dares, and they can be sweet, they can be saucy, whatever. And then you place them into a hat, and the participants take turns pulling them out. So if it's just you and a boyfriend or a hookup, you ouch, I just hit the microphone. You just take turns and then you do whatever is requested. So when we did this, I think we were working with Jason Tantra, who's a tantric sex coach, and I think him and I might have written the ideas down on paper, or I wrote them.
I saw your handwriting on the paper.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So you see what the things are? You see what the paper says?
You can't actually read all the words, but I could tell by the way that it was written that it was your handwriting.
Wow.
I knew the feet one had to be yours.
Well, that was mine. Yes, there was there was one. Well, first of all, Matt, what did you think of the video?
I liked the video. I thought it was fun. And I think that immediately I thought, oh, this could be something fun to do with a partner. Granted, we would know who wrote what, but I think it would be a fun way to kind of explore the things that you want. Kind of like that play on you get 5 minutes, I get 5 minutes, and expressing what I want. This is just which one am I going to pick, you know?
Well, Chad and I played this in a YouTube video together that's on my channel. And even though we both knew who wrote which, like, you still might get your own, or he might get his own, which still makes it kind of interesting and fun. So you don't want to write anything that like you yourself wouldn't want to share or say or do. Did you find it like, was there, I'm trying to figure out how I want to ask this. Did you get like any like pervy vibe from this? Did it feel pervy to you? Like,
well, no, only because, but I kind of know what you're saying.
You know what I'm getting at?
Yeah. No. Well, I thought it was funny who out of the 3 of them.
First of all, there were 4 of them. 4 of them.
Out of the 4 of them, who most of the attention was on.
Uh-huh.
So, like, to that end, could one get more of like a pervy vibe? Sure.
Okay, so so Adam was the one that got most of the attention.
Yeah.
And how would you describe Adam?
As a young, free-spirited, twinkish, cute young guy.
Yeah, like very sweet, very innocent.
Oh, like, totally innocent. When they were like, what is like, I want you to get choked while someone's jerking you off. Okay. Like,
well, that was so funny. Like, that wasn't planned. And in the first like things that people pulled out, it was like, compliment your neighbor, like make out with, it was just very sweet stuff. And then it gets to Adam and he pulls out a piece of paper and it's like, hold me down, choke me, and jerk off my cock. Like, it was just like it was so raunchy, and he's just so sweet and innocent that there was just this like contrast. Like, and I chatted about this with Dan, the director, that like there's this dynamic that happens in particular between Wesley Woods and Chris Harder, 2 of the guys that are in it, that like they're almost like they just seem like these 2 pervy uncles who are like, they're like, yeah, you like that, yeah, he likes that, like going back and forth between each other. It's like uncomfortable, but also really hot. And it doesn't help that Adam, who's like, I don't know if he's 19 or 20, he's very, very like very boyish. He also like completely shaved for the video.
Sure did.
So it was like, he just looks very young. So I think it could be triggering for people, but in both ways that are good and bad. What did you think about the marshmallow?
Oh my God. So I was freaking out because he put it on there. Then he
tell them what happened.
Well, what is it? Someone has to put a marshmallow in their ass. That's what one of the cards said. Put a marshmallow in my ass and eat it or whatever.
Yeah.
So one of the guys, the one that has the tattoos and the piercings. I don't know what his name is. Do you know Chris? He picks the guy that's across from him. The other blonde guy.
Wyndham Gold.
he puts the marshmallow in Wyndham Gold's ass. So he presses it in, and I'm like, okay, he pressed it in. It's good. And then he pressed it in again. I'm like, okay. And then he pressed it in again. And for a second, I couldn't see it. And I freaked out. Because I'm like, how you going to get this shit out? Like, and then like, oh my God. Oh my God. I was so afraid it was like going to go completely inside him. And then at that point, what you going to do? You're going to dig it out? How are you going to get it?
Well, he did dig it out too with his tongue.
He did, but I thought that marshmallow reached a point of no return.
It passed the event horizon.
I sure thought it did. But it gave me it was freaking me out a little bit because I didn't think it was gonna come out. It really didn't.
Would you play this game like at home?
Yes, I would play this game. I wouldn't push that marshmallow so deep inside, but I would play the game.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I think it's cute. And it is like, it's very playful, and it's like, it can give you some of that spice and some of that intensity, right? That like people feel is lacking long term. So
that, and like, I don't know, like
this could have saved my relationship.
Well, I just think it's something fun. Like it's a playful way to still be intimate and get pleasure, you know?
And just a and he shot a big load. And he shot a big load.
He definitely did.
He did. If you guys want to check it out, himeros.tv/pride. You can watch like 30 seconds of it there. All right, let's answer some questions from folks at home. If you guys have any questions, make sure you send them to davey@daveywavey.tv. I think 2 of these questions are relationship themed. Let's open that can of worms again.
Right.
Question 1. Yeah. Question 1, how do you move on from a relationship? Thanks so much for asking. This one hits close to home. You know, it's funny that they actually phrased it this way because I just listened to, when I'm at the gym, I always listen to podcasts, and I'm subscribed to the TED Hour one. And there was this interview about this woman who said, like, she wasn't talking about relationships. I think she was talking about like the death of her husband or something. And she said, you never move on. What you do is you take that memory, you take what you've learned, and you move forward with it. It's not about like leaving them behind you. It's like taking it with you and moving forward. And that was like her process for healing. And I thought that was really, I liked that. I like that perspective.
It's funny because I have that perspective now, but years ago I didn't. And I think that if I knew that now, I would have had a much easier time moving on from some of the relationships that didn't work. Because that's true. Like you do have to, I think you have to look at it in terms of, okay, you know what? It didn't work. Appreciate it for what it was, and take away the lessons and apply that to the new relationship whenever you happen to get into it. I mean, I do think that there is a period of time where we do need to do a little self-reflection and think about, you know, what could we have done a little bit differently? What can we work on as people? But I like that.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable here in this.
I know, it's like I'm like talking and I'm like, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah, I'm like squirming around. Also, I mean, an easier way of moving on is just you could blow some hot guy in the airport bathroom in Madrid.
I don't fix shit.
Also works. Right, question, you say that doesn't fix shit?
I don't fix shit.
It does make you feel good though for 5 minutes.
It does for a little bit. It do.
All right, question number 2. I'm writing you because you posted a picture on Instagram where you said that you were struggling. I was surprised to see it because everything on social media always seems positive. It looks like people never have bad days. I'm sure they do, but we never see it or hear about it. Since you know a lot of other people in social media, do you feel like their posts and pictures reflect real life? Are they portraying their lives truthfully? Anyway, thanks for the honesty. No, they're not. No. They're not. And that's not just people in social media. I think that's not just influencers. I think it's probably all of us that we always post like the highlight reel of our lives and not the reality of what we're going through that we like if our great grandkids ever find our Instagram feeds, they're gonna be like, wow, like we're smiling. How many pictures have you been like smiling in where like secretly behind that smile you've been having a really bad day and like are not happy, but put on that face anyway? I think we all do it. I've tried to be more honest with my social media, like especially lately, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's funny hearing that question. There's two people that I know that immediately come to mind, and they live completely different lives online from how their life actually is. Whereas they're having fun 24/7, always somewhere new, doing something fun, but then they're actually very destructive. So, I mean, and even you've shared like just like certain things about YouTubers even, and what people happen to see, but what really is going on behind closed doors. It's just
name names.
Oh, now listen, I ain't that messy. But you know, I mean, and at the same time too, like as much as we may be hiding or people think that we're hiding it, sometimes people just haven't come to terms with it too. And they're just trying to have a moment where it's like, God, I've had the worst day, I've been having the worst week, or I've just been going through a real rough patch. I'm just trying to have a moment where I can actually enjoy myself, you know, and sometimes we misunderstand that and we are taking away their moment. So,
I just think a lot of people use Instagram and social media as a way to like, as an attempt to control, like, it's how they want other people to see them. Like this is what I want them to see me as, regardless of how like connected or disconnected that is from the truth. So that's what
I was saying, and that's not just about having a good time. It's even when people try to like Facetune themselves. No shade.
Oh,
not talking about you. I'm not talking about you.
Do you know that when like back in the day, I used to do like a lot more work with like photographers and stuff, and even pictures I took of myself, like several years ago, I would even like open them in Photoshop and like cinch my waist or like take care of things that I thought were like problem areas. And I think it's been like 2 years where I'm like, I'm just like, I don't, just by virtue of going to the gym as much as I do and like posting shirtless pictures, I think I'm already contributing to like an unrealistic body image for a lot of people. I don't need to further enhance that by making my body into something that it's like not even capable of being. Like my waist couldn't be smaller because I have fucking hips, right? And I would like pull in my like my hips to like cinch it in. And yeah, I've just made a promise to myself to be more authentic about social media. And like if I'm having a bad like week or a tough time in my life, to not just pretend like everything's always good. Because I think it gives people a permission when they're looking at that, saying like, okay, like he's struggling too, I'm struggling, like I'm not alone in this, like we all go through shit. I think there's something about being able to commiserate and know that you're not the only person going through it.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 3.
Sorry. I keep
tell
like,
me.
Do you remember when I visited you and then you like altered my entire self?
Yeah. I was like, do you want to see me look like a Photoshop? It didn't even look like you.
You gave me blue eyes. I'm a black man with blue eyes.
Yeah. Do you still have that picture?
Oh, maybe. I'll have to look for it. That was hilarious. I'm like, this looks nothing like me. You're like, no, it looks great. I'm like, it's not me.
All right, question number 3. I am Ryan and from Minnesota. I'm a huge fan and I have a few questions for you. I am gay and I do not know how to come out to my parents and grandparents. I don't want them to disown me. How do I get the guts to do it? Also, I'm a firm believer in God. Is being gay a sin or not? Man, I wish Finn was here for that one.
Right? Right? We could use Finn for this question.
Yeah.
I mean, I easily said I'm religious. My mother's a minister. I grew up in church. I would say, no, it's not a sin. I don't think that I was created the wrong way. I think that I want to love someone. I want to give love to someone. I want to share love with someone. I'm not looking to hurt someone. But these are things that you have to decide for yourself. You know, I've come across gay men who don't want to act on their sexual feelings because they do think that it's a sin. You know,
I just can't with like anything. And the idea of like, even the idea of like sin, like this idea that we're gonna like shame ourselves for what someone else tells me is right and wrong. Like I can know in my heart, like I don't need someone else to tell me how to live my life or what's good or what's bad, or that some book written however many thousand years ago is going to dictate how I live my life. Like I'm just so far removed from. I get it because I like grew up in a Catholic household, and I think at one point in my life I did believe this, but just as a 35-year-old man who's so far removed from that, like you're not going to define my fucking truth for me. Like I'm going to figure it out for myself, and like I'm going to live my true and authentic life. And for me that means blowing a guy in a bathroom stall in Madrid, and not even not having shame about it, but being fucking like joyous about it. Being like, that was some good fucking airport head, and and like it gives me life. It makes me like feel pleasure. There's no time that I feel more alive as a gay man than when I'm having sex with another guy. Um so like I get that there's implications of that in terms of how you talk to your family and your friends and your grandparents. And you know, will they disown you? I don't know, but I can say that like my parents didn't have a great perspective on gay people. Matt, your mom didn't either. And I think the only thing that was strong enough to change their minds on that was the love that they have for their child. And so over the course of many, many years for both of us, like I think our parents have had some sort of change in their hearts and minds about what they believe. So it can happen, it might not.
yeah, but I mean, it's not all roses and sunshine. Like, I mean, this person needs to decide to come out to whoever they want to come out to whenever they are ready. This is not, oh, well, I've waited this long, I just need to pull the trigger and do it. No, you do it when you think that you are ready to do it, and no one should tell you when that is. You need to decide that for yourself. And as much as for the both of us, we have a family that has come around. It took my mom 7 or 8 years. I didn't talk to my mom for 6, almost 7 years, because of a lot of this stuff. And you know, for me, I recognize that when my mom had the reaction that she did, it hurt. But in hindsight, we grew up in different generations. You know, my mom is speaking from a place of fear and a place of love and a place of wanting to protect me more than I think it was a place of religion. There was a piece of that too. But, you know, my mom, my dad grew up around AIDS when it was known as the gay disease. That's what they know.
Yeah,
So,
that's what they're bringing to the table, all that baggage.
all of that. So, you know, whoever this person is, I don't know how old your parents are, but you need to consider the perspective or where your parents' perspective is coming from when you are talking to them. And at the same time, what I told myself was, I think it took me 20, 21 years to finally come out. And I said, you know what, if it takes my mom 21 years to come around, it takes my mom 21 years to come around. It took me this long to make my own peace with it, to come to my own understanding and want to tell her. So it may not happen overnight, but you need to do it when you're ready.
And surround yourself with friends who support you when you do decide to make that coming out.
Absolutely.
Just a reminder, visit himeros.tv/pride to save 60% off your membership. There's just a few hours left, and it's as little as $13.99 per month. Next week, we're going to talk about a video titled Green, Yellow, Red. Thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, Matt, don't you have an event coming up this weekend?
Oh my gosh, yes, I have an event coming up this weekend. It is Trap Yoga in New York City, Union Square. We have 2 sessions for Trap Yoga from a professional Trap Yoga instructor, 2 to 4, 5 to 7. Link is in my bio on Instagram. Tickets are $20. We would love if you would come through and support our fundraiser to help feed the street community in New York City. Go to my Instagram, Riversma, and click on the link for CrowdRise, register, and come and join us, please. I'll be there all day. I would love to meet all of you. There's going to be time to meditate, do some yoga, just hang out. It's going to be a fantastic event, so please come.
Awesome. Cool. Well, next week, Matt, you won't be here. Finn will be back, and we're going to be broadcasting live from somewhere in northern Sweden. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for listening. And as always, more to come.